Hey, I'm Teja Gerken with Peghead Nation, and I'm here today with the Martin Oahu HG-28 guitar. This is a guitar that was introduced a few months ago, and they're finally ramping up production to where we were able to get one, and I've been having lots of fun playing this guitar. It's a very interesting instrument that you can almost think of as kind of a vintage style guitar, except that Martin never built this guitar back in the old days. So it's kind of a guitar that might have been, and it combines some very cool elements of Martin's history into an instrument that really is completely new. So, as you might imagine, most new Martin models get designed by the company's R&D team, often based on existing models, but sometimes also introducing completely new thing. Every now and then, there's a project that Chris Martin himself likes to sort of take under his wing, and this is one of them. Chris was doing some research on sort of Martins that were made during the Hawaiian music craze in the 1920s. And a while ago came across some sort of new models that people weren't really aware of that had been built for some distributors that almost predated the dreadnought but had that size of the dreadnought. And of course, there were several instruments that were built for Hawaiian lap style playing that were made with high action, often having koa back and sides. And of course, Martin also built tons of ukuleles during that time using koa wood. So Chris was doing this research and came across a Gibson HG-20 guitar, which uses the essentially Martin style slope shoulder dreadnought body, but with a 14 fret neck. They were made in about the late 20s before Martin had switched to a 14 fret neck. And so there's a little bit of an interesting historical perspective with that switch to 14 fret necks, which used the Martin style slope shoulder body with a 14 fret neck before Martin did so. So I think all these different things figured into Chris having this idea of building a guitar that if Martin had used their slope shoulder body with a 14 fret neck during the Hawaiian craze, what that guitar might have looked like. And I think the result is very cool. And I should say that Martin has a very interesting video where Chris talks about this project and kind of these influences that I just mentioned in that video. It's definitely worth checking out. We'll link to it in the text of this. So the result is this very cool Oahu HG-28, and as you might be able to tell, it uses a dreadnought shaped body, but at a slightly reduced size. It measures 14 and 5/16 inches at the lower bout. It's the depth of a triple O, so it's a much more compact body. And it has Martin's short scale, so 24.9 inches. So you can sort of think of it as maybe kind of a dreadnought, triple O hybrid. And it feels and sounds kind of like what that might be. Built with a beautiful Sitka spruce top, really nice top, and gorgeous koa back and sides. And Martin has built lots of guitars with koa, but especially during that first Hawaiian music craze, again, like in the 1920s. Lots of koa instruments, some with koa tops as well. They chose a spruce top for this one. And of course, it has the 14 fret neck. That was sort of part of Chris Martin's idea of combining these different features. So Martin has done reduced size dreadnoughts in the past. There were some 7/8 size models, but they weren't exactly like this. And I think it's a very cool model idea that kind of stands on its own, regardless of this kind of history with the 14 fret dreadnoughts and the Hawaiian instruments. It's just a cool guitar that I kind of hope Martin expands on because it's just a really fun, compact guitar with a great sound. You heard me play it in open G tuning. I'm not a slack key guitarist, but I was trying to play a little bit in that style. It sounds beautiful that played like that, but of course it's not limited to that. I'll tune it to standard tuning in a little bit and I'll show you what it sounds like played like that as well. But let's talk about some of the other details on this guitar. You might notice that it has the smaller footprint, a rectangular bridge on there. Probably dampens the top a little bit less, makes the guitar as alive as it is. We have a typical teardrop pickguard, style 28, multi-ring black and white rosette, gorgeous herringbone binding. And when you say HG-28, people might hear you say HD-28 because that is, of course, a famous Martin model. It's kind of a fun little wordplay on that, but I'm glad they included the herringbone on this. I already mentioned the gorgeous koa back and sides, nice cream-colored binding on the top and the back. Short scale, I already mentioned, combined with a 1 3/4 inch nut width. So really nice fingerstyle kind of dimensions. Beautiful diamond volute on the back of the neck here, and it's got the low oval high performance taper neck. So very comfortable play and fairly similar to other recent Martin necks. Open back Grover tuners on this guitar, and it has the Martin Oahu name on the peghead of the guitar as well. Okay, so I've tuned to standard tuning now, and let me show you what the guitar sounds like if I'm strumming it with a pick. The classic Martin voice, great focus, lots of sparkle, just a really nice sound, and again, much more comfortable and easy to play than a full-size dreadnought. Really, in my mind, brings it a little bit more into, say, a triple O or an OM kind of a territory. But of course, the dreadnought body does have its own tonality, even at this reduced size. So overall, just a really interesting guitar. It's always fun to see when Martin sort of gets an idea that's a little bit out of the box and finds a way to execute it, particularly when it's done as well as with this. I love the story behind it. I think it's a cool way to kind of go back and see what might have been. This is the kind of guitar where if someone found an instrument that was just like this, that was 80 years old, you'd kind of think, yeah, that makes sense that Martin might have done that. I've never seen one, but that's something that they would have done. And now they've done it. And not only is it an interesting story with this particular Oahu HG-28, I think this whole reduced dreadnought short scale concept kind of creates a very cool new platform for Martin. And as I said before, personally, I think it's something that they should run with and make some other models with. Easy to play, very cool tonality, cool story, great looks. I think these are worth checking out. It's the Martin Oahu HG-28. I'll go out and do a little finger picking on this in standard tuning, since you only heard me do that in open G tuning before. Again, my name is Teja Gerken with Peghead Nation, and I hope you come back and visit us for more of our gear demos. If you are seeing this on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel, and also come over to pegheadnation.com, not just for our gear demos, but also for our many courses for guitars and other stringed and fretted instruments. We'd love to see you there. So here I go, playing a little bit of fingerstyle in standard tuning on this Martin Oahu HG-28, and we'll see you very soon.